Who's saying hi first?
Hi.
Hi, what's up?
Were you like listening to music? Were you making music? Did you take a break? Like, what was the vibe?
Yeah, when I got it's interesting because like this time last year, my dad and I were talking and he's like, "You haven't been home in a while. Like, I think I'm gonna sell our house. Maybe you should come back and like pack up your room." And so I made plans to go back and pack up my room, and right when I got there, like the pandemic hit. And I ended up staying for like 4 months. And that room is like where I write a lot of I wrote my first EP in that room. Like I wrote in that room like growing up. And so it just felt natural, like what am I gonna do for 4 months? Like I'm just gonna write. So I ended up rewriting a lot of my album, producing a lot, which was nice. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that from like the people that I've spoken to, it's gone one of two ways. Like either people have thrown themselves into the writing process and been super inspired, or people have kind of, because I mean, from my perspective, like I need things to write about. I like being in the world and experiencing stuff. So it can be quite difficult to find that when you're just, with your family doing nothing.
Totally. I totally know what you mean. Like right now I'm like, okay, it's been a year of this. I really feel like I have nothing to write about now.
Yeah. What was the music that you were listening to when you first started writing? And did you find that like your music taste changed over time, or did you kind of stick to the same genres?
My music taste has always been so all over the place. I think that's a really good question. When I went back home, I was like going through the old like record box I had in high school. And in high school, I was like so obsessed with like Tom Petty and The Who and the Rolling Stones and also like all of those artists were like a gateway into like the Smashing Pumpkins for me. And the Smashing Pumpkins are like Billy Corgan like lives in my town. He probably lives like 5 minutes from where I grew up. And so whenever I'm back home, I listen to a lot of Smashing Pumpkins. So I don't know if that's reflective in my music, but it's what I was listening to a lot. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, my tastes have definitely evolved over time. When I was younger, I was really I had like a big hip hop phase where I was listening to a lot of like MF Doom. I was listening to a lot of like Biggie and Tupac and like all of that. And then I also had like a big kind of phase of like the very classic like indie rock teenager vibe. I was listening to like the Smiths, the Arctic Monkeys. I was listening to like the Pixies and like Susie and the Banshees, all of that. All those bands, like I've still held on to them, and my taste has expanded, but like I haven't lost my love for any of those. I mean, a few of those bands, but like in general, I still listen to everything, and I've got a lot more into electronic music, I think, as I've grown older. But with my album, it was very much like that organic sound. I hear the Smashing Pumpkins in your album, though. I do hear them. Yeah, I do.
Hey, thank you. You're like a big Radiohead fan, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm a big Radiohead fan. In particular, like In Rainbows. That was one of the albums that like really hit me and really influenced my album as well. Because I don't know, I think my music has always operated in this kind of, I mean, I like simplicity. I like few elements executed well. And I feel like on songs like House of Cards and Nude and All I Need, there is that sparsity to it. So I guess I was listening to that a lot. I mean, did you feel like when you approached the record, were you like, I know what I want this record to sound like? Or did you just kind of figure it out?
I never went into it thinking, okay, this has to be a cohesive piece of work and every song has to have a similar feeling of production. Like, I didn't want that at all. I wanted it to feel more of like a collage and more of like a dynamic listening experience. And I wanted to blend genres in like a way that maybe you're not used to hearing. I definitely picked a point in like a time period in my life to write about. I found myself writing about like the same like couple of years and the same events that happened like in those specific years. I still feel like writing about my childhood is maybe like opening a can of worms that I haven't gotten to yet.
I guess, I think what's interesting is like how there's an immediacy to it. And you've got this gift for like, I feel myself just completely transported to the moment that you're talking about. And there's something in your hooks as well. I don't know, like when I heard Soft Spot, like there's that simplicity, like I've got a soft spot for you, like that. I don't know, it kind of broke my heart because that like the simplicity and the power of it. I think there's such a power in those hooks where it's just like a phrase and everyone can associate that with a moment in their life. Like everyone knows a moment where they've been like I thought I saw you but I didn't, and like I, you know, like I still have feelings in some way.
Thank you. That's really nice of you to say. I literally was gonna say, I go back to the lyrics in your song Caroline a lot, and like there has never been a time where I was waiting for a bus and like saw an artsy couple fighting, but like I feel like I have. Like I feel like I've been there, and I feel like I was there with you, and like I just get like so lost in your lyrics and convince myself that, yeah, like, oh my god, Caroline, what the hell, you know? Like,
I love that. I love that.
That you've convinced me.
Oh, you know, even like when I listen to like Either Or by Elliott Smith, and it's like, I've never been to a rose parade, or like I've never been to this, you know, but then you find yourself like being moved by the fact that he is talking about these very specific moments with a specific person, because it feels intimate. Like it feels like you're almost, you know, somewhere where you're not quite supposed to be, and you're watching this scene unfold.
I was actually like looking at your vinyl again today, and I just realized I have like a full-on Arlo Parks poster. I'm gonna hang it up. I'm like so excited to hang it up in my new room.
Oh, I love that. It's crazy to me to think about, because I was a big poster person when I was a kid. Like I would cut out like pages from NME, and I had like my little Kurt Cobain poster. I had my little like Jared Way poster. Do you know what I mean? And like, and it's crazy to think that like now, it's weird to think that people can listen to the songs like in their own time. Like the fact that people like as we speak are listening to our songs. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. It's very, because you know, like I remember like just like making tunes and like having no one care at all.
Wait, side note, do you draw at all?
I mean, I've always loved to draw, but I'm not very good. Like I like drawing like weird little abstract things, and I spent quite a lot of time doing it when I was younger just because I found it super calming. And like when I listen to a vinyl, I'm quite a restless person, so I need to be doing something with my hands. So I'll just like draw something as I go. How long have you been drawing for?
Not that long. Like I started when I was like my first year at like Syracuse University. I was working for the radio station, like the indie radio station there, and they were like trying to design some merch, and I was like, oh, I have an idea, and I just like drew it out for them, and they were like, oh great, like we'll use this, and I'm like, and I like did it on Illustrator, like Adobe, because I don't really draw like pen to paper that often. It's mainly just like on my computer, or I'll like paint.
Nice.
But I like drew it out for them, and they're like, oh, that's sick. And then I was like, oh, I guess I can like draw more sometimes, you know?
It's been lovely to hang out with you.
So
it's just it's so fun, like just to get to like have a conversation rather than, you know, it being an interview and it being really one-sided and stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree. This was really fun.